I'm going to invite, actually, can we bring a microphone to Dr. Shrikar Reddy, please? He's going to kick it off. Dr. Reddy, if you could answer those, in opening remarks, what is the focus for India, and what are the key challenges? How do you see the key challenges being addressed in collaboration with other countries?
Good evening, namaskar. It is a great pleasure to join you all this evening for this timely Thrive conference, bringing together scientists, innovators, Consul Generals, entrepreneurs. I'd like to thank the team led by Anurag. Coming to the question, India is interested in promoting collaboration in the areas of critical and emerging technologies, which includes AI, quantum, semiconductors, biotechnology, and space, and also climate technologies. So just to give you an example, with collaboration with the US, under the Trust Initiative, which is transforming relationship utilizing strategic technology, both governments, institutions, and also private sector are collaborating in all these critical and emerging sectors. And India recently joined the PAC Silica initiative led by US, which is critical for the semiconductor supply chain. So, as you know, India recently hosted the AI Impact Summit, and the summit, which there was a participation from over 100 countries, from all stakeholders, including entrepreneurs, academia, civil society. And this summit has enabled human-centric AI to the focus. So this led to discussions around democratizing AI, and also Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, he put forward the Manav framework, which is a human-centric AI governance model, which lays emphasis on ethics, inclusivity, national sovereignty and data, and also controls. As you know, a lot of misdeeds could happen because of the use of AI. So India, we have this AI for all model, we have this India AI mission. So we are trying to provide compute, data, and also we are promoting local small companies, especially startups, to come up with applications in the area of education, healthcare, agriculture, and governance, and also manufacturing, especially to cater to the socio-economic inclusive development. So in India, as you know, even some of the speakers like M.R. Rangaswamy, Indiaspora, he mentioned the digital public infrastructure of India, which is we have built a lot of digital platforms using our digital identity, Aadhaar. We have the mobile connectivity, and also we connected all the bank accounts. We created bank accounts for all the adults in India. So UPI, which is a United Payment Interface, now it is being accepted in the 8 countries, including 4 developing countries of UAE, Qatar, Singapore, and France. And 20 countries have come forward and entered into agreements with India for collaboration in this digital public infrastructure. So I think India would like to share its experiences in using digital tools for population. As you know, India population it is for 1.4 billion. So we have a lot of digital platforms which are improving the access for public services, like over 2,000 public services of state and central governments are now delivered digitally. And we also enabled and empowered rural communities, farmers, and also SMEs to connect with the market. So by using digital tools. And digital public infrastructure is also promoting innovation. And over that, now we are trying to use AI tools to build applications. As you know, a lot of AI companies from the Bay Area, they participate in the summit. And we have very good collaborations, for example, between OpenAI and TCS, Anthropic, and Infosys. So we would like to enhance this collaboration between the Bay Area and India, especially in artificial intelligence, because we would like to find applications relevant for all the socio-economic development, healthcare, education, and agriculture. And we would also like to share our expertise with other countries in the developing South. So that is my opening comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Reddy. You know, AI with India with its 1.4 billion population, tremendous technical talent, could be use case capital of the world in some ways. And I think that's what Dr. Reddy briefly talked about. I'm going to invite Nathalie Delrue-Macquarie from Belgium to share her thoughts. Microphone right there. And you can, if you could turn towards the camera so camera can record your comments would be great. Yeah, those of you who want to come up here for the light, that's okay, but otherwise, yeah. I didn't want all of you to have to come here. That would be a long walk here. That's why I'm just minimizing that. Please. Yeah.
Thank you. It's a real pleasure to meet everybody, and thanks for organizing this very important summit and conference. I think that the world needs more interdisciplinary conversations around AI, healthcare, national security, and all of that intersect. So maybe I'll start by saying a few things about how the Belgian diplomatic organization operates in the Bay Area. So I'm Honorary Consul of Belgium, so I'm not a career diplomat. I have lived here for about 20 years, and I became appointed as Honorary Consul in 2013 by the King of Belgium, who is the head of state. So in terms of trade and investment, Belgium's trade and investment economic diplomacy is organized by regions. So actually in the Bay Area, we have 3 trade and investment offices, so one for Brussels, one for Flanders, and one for Wallonia, which are the 3 administrative regions of Brussels. So all of them are very active in academic and scientific cooperation, because diplomacy in the Bay Area really means tech diplomacy, and a big component is the cooperation between our entrepreneurial universities and Stanford, Berkeley, but also the national labs. So we are actually a much larger team than we look like. We are a very small country. So in my role here, I'm in the consular corps, like my other colleagues, who will address you tonight. And so we cooperate as consular corps. And then, we also cooperate with, the various layers of government, in the United States, local government, state government, national government. Belgium welcomed a delegation of 550 people last October, so we do several royal visits per year. So we have a member of our royal family traveling with, for example, our Secretary of Defense and the CEOs of large companies. I mean, in this case, we were very focused on defense because, of the geopolitical challenges that everybody, has to solve right now everywhere. In terms of AI, so of course, like Belgium is at the heart of the EU, the Washington DC of the EU in some ways. So of course, Belgium, supported the, European legislations like the AI Act, of course implements it and promotes it in their conversations with their counterparts in the United States. And I think I can say that it's a great collaboration. For example, the chair of the President's Scientific Council has been meeting at our embassy, has been involved in the delegation I was mentioning. And so it's not a polarized discussion. It's actually a discussion where people sit at the same table and try to understand where everybody is coming from. So it's not a political decision. It's a very complex problem to solve. And I commend India on addressing this problem and trying to promote more than just guidelines, but solutions that all countries can agree to to maintain humanity and that kind of thing. And so personally, I'm very involved in the topic because I actually do doctoral research on the impact of AI regulatory uncertainty on venture capital early stage investments. I've also looked at the problem of national security. So back in 2022, I researched the use of AI drone swarms in special operations that I had to present to Harvard and the DoD. And of course, with my research, I also, try to be a resource to the Belgian government, but also to, to the local, U.S. policymakers, and when we exchange perspective. And we have a very large Consul General of Belgium in Los Angeles, which, like my colleagues who are Consul Generals here, also represent Belgium in 15 states, so in the western of the United States. So they travel here very often as well, and we have our ambassador coming as well. And we participate in the, in the sessions organized by the tech companies, public affairs departments, government relations. So I think the dialogue is really important, but the dialogue is happening, between civil society, government, and business. And I think we need to do more of that. So I hope that answered your questions. I didn't address healthcare, but we can continue the conversation.
No.
Thanks for having me. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. I'm going to switch the questions a little bit just to kind of keep this interesting and exciting. Is Omar Fain in the audience from Israel? To see if kind of, I think he couldn't make it today. But Antoine Hong from Vietnam. There you go. Please bring the microphone to him. Thank you so much. So I'm just going to switch the question a little bit. We just heard about a lot of work that the consulates do in engaging with various states and entities within the states. As you think about science and technology community, how do you see Vietnam sort of engaging with not just the US, but other countries? I know you're representing Vietnam in the US, but what about engagement of Vietnam with the rest of the world, US included?
Well, thank you very much. So first of all, I would like to thank you and the organizers for organizing this event. And I would like to share our thoughts with CEOs, professors, entrepreneurs, VC managers. I would like to say, to borrow the words from Jensen Huang, I arranged the meetings for Jensen Huang with our Prime Minister when our Prime Minister visited the Silicon Valley. And 1 year after the visit, after the meeting with our Prime Minister, Jensen Huang came to Vietnam with me. And he shared with me, he said, Tuấn, you know why? Why we invested, and we set up an AI research center in Vietnam. And at the time, by the end of 2024, that was the third NVIDIA R&D research center all over the world, one in Santa Clara, one in Taipei, and the third one in Vietnam. He said, a couple of reasons. One is that, we have a population. The population, that is increasing. So comparing to the other countries, whose population is decreasing. So that is a value. That is one thing. The second thing is about the expansion of the middle class, and it is expanding very fast, and it has expanded based on the high economic growth rate. So we had achieved, the average 6% economic growth rate, for almost 35 years, starting, almost 40 years, starting from 1986, even up to now. And last year, we had the economic growth rate of 8%. And the new government has set up a very ambitious goal of the 2-digit economic growth rate for the next 5 years, from now until 2030. And a third reason is that, he said, people in Vietnam, they are very good at tech, so they adjusted, to using, the take tools very quickly, and also STEM-based. So comparing to other countries in Southeast Asia, and the young kids in Vietnam, they learn STEMs at the young age, and they attended competitions, math STEMs, and they always be in the top 5. And another reason is that Vietnam, although a developing country, but we have several tech multinational companies like Viettel, that is telecommunication company that has 400 million customers worldwide. So that is the reason. So I think that explains why Jensen Huang invested in Vietnam. So if you come to Vietnam, and you can see that all the major tech companies, whether they are in Silicon Valley, in the West Coast, in Japan, Korea, Australia, they have all their presence in Vietnam. So we can say that we have built the tech ecosystem in Vietnam that is already there.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Consul. Thank you so much. This actually, Consul General's remarks about Vietnam's capacity and role. I mean, Vietnam has been a success story, and it's still an LMIC country, but the journey has been amazing. It actually, how many of you feel hopeful about the world based on hearing the stories that you have heard so far? Show of hands? Absolutely. I think there are challenges, but I think there is a substrate on which we can build upon. I'm going to invite Barbara Pivnica, I think that's how we pronounce it, who's Consul General for Slovakian Consulate. And Barbara, yours is a young country, it's a small country, but there is a history of innovation and science. But the world is changing. How do you see the role of your country in the context of where we are going with these different fields?
Thank you. First, I think we should all give you a round of applause. He's doing all the heavy lifting up here. Slovakia is a very small country. It's only 5 million people. But I know that most of you have a country story that you can tell. Slovakia's is interesting. We just had the ambassador here, and of course, he's fascinated about AI and wants to, like all our countries, wants to do it there, right? Isn't that what you hear at home? That we want to translate this. It doesn't translate very well. I think all of us know that. So one of the things that we did recently during this visit, and I'd like to pass it along to you because it worked or is in the process of working for this small nation, so you may incorporate some of these for your own use. When the ambassador visited, we visited with OpenAI, and we analyzed the strengths of Slovakia, and it's small, 5 million people, but what it's known for is per capita, it produces more automobiles than almost anywhere in the world. So we don't need to build more cars. What we need to do is focus on what Slovakia is really good at, which is supply chain. So why don't we work on supply chain? So one of the things that emerged from this is we are working on a program with OpenAI called the Factory Nation. And I think this will be an interesting project. It may come to nothing. It may be a startup, a flat startup, but it's across the board, interesting for the government, for industry, and for the current businesses who are in Slovakia now. So I hope that all of us have great success with this. I'm sure that we will. It probably won't be what we think it is today.
Thank you, Barbara. That's well said. I 100% agree. When I moved to this country 32 years back, I didn't anticipate the kinds of technological evolutions that were going to change the work that I do. Completely agree that there's future is yet to be invented, and many say, right? I'm going to switch to Vietnam. Actually, we already had the Vietnam Consul General speak, so I'm going to skip that. I'm going to go to Swedish Consulate General Cecilia Ekholm. Where are you, Cecilia? Oh, there you are. Thank you. So again, I'm just a little flavor on that question. Sweden has a pretty unique role to play in European economy. Science has always been a part of it. You know, you give awards. A little award that we all value so much. Where do you go from in the current setup, current situation? You know, the kinds of problems that we're dealing in global settings. What role does Sweden play in that? What capacity you bring, and what capacity do you receive, actually?
Thank you, and thank you for this wonderful, I do love the setup of this, where we're actually mixing a lot of different people with different backgrounds, and we get to pretend that we know what we're talking about while we have the experts in the room, right? You mentioned a small price. Now, can I start? Because Sweden is a very small country, and basically we speak a language that almost no one else speaks, which means that going international is something that we've done from the very start. And that little prize, the Nobel Prize, I would like to go back about 125 years, because it was actually this year 125 years since the first Nobel Prize was awarded in 1901. And yes, it's a great prize, but do you know what the really revolutionary thing about it was? It was the fact that it was the first prize that was awarded to the most deserving person, irrespective of nationality.
Yep.
And this was way before the League of Nations or the United Nations. The League of Nations was not founded until 1920. So in 1901, that was quite the revolution. And I think that is also something that we keep in our DNA. We do like international collaboration. We need international collaboration. With a market of 10 million people, you know, you're never going to get the scientific breakthroughs that you need. So collaboration is something that we really like. I would like to lift another couple of things that I think are really important. That's trust and transparency. So trust in a society is very important, so people can thrive and be secure that you can make mistakes, or you can start things that might not come to fruition, but you know that you're not going to starve on the street anyways. Free schooling. The fact that every child has access to school up to university level, cost-free, is also something that has been very important for our development. And we did have a big industrial development with the large companies that many people recognize today, such as Volvo or Ericsson, AstraZeneca, ABB, big companies. You had the second wave with Minecraft, Spotify, Skype, which is almost no more, but now we're getting the third. We're getting our third wave with the new AI natives, so the startups that are coming. So looking at priorities, of course, you know, new technologies is what we're all about. This is why we're here. AI is really important. We recently adopted a national AI strategy, our first. So we're hoping this is something that is going to, I think, affect everyone. Another really important issue is going to be energy. We started already in the 1990s looking at fossil-free energy, and today I think we have about 98% fossil-free energy in Sweden. But that's not going to be enough, because we know that a lot of energy is going to be required in this new intelligent economy. For example, if you want to make fossil-free steel, which we are trying to do, it's extremely energy intensive. So looking into how, you know, what kind of energy sources that we can use. We've heard about fusion here. It sounds wonderful, and really, fingers crossed, very optimistic. But there is a lot of research going into that. And lastly, just to say a few words of collaboration as an example. I have my Norwegian colleague here. Hi, Kirsten. And we do a lot of Nordic collaboration. So, you know, you start with your closest neighbors. And the Nordics have, I mean, together we are stronger. We know that we are all small countries. We share a lot of heritage and a lot of history. And here we are together in something called Nordic Innovation House. So out here in Palo Alto, the Nordic countries, we just chipped in together, started the Nordic Innovation House, where our innovation authorities, and we also have the universities, and we have startups, are all coming together. And that is a great way to reach a larger audience. Thank Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. If there was a case to be made effectively about value of collaboration, Cecilia just made it. The kinds of companies that have come out of Sweden, such a small country, and the sustained growth that they have had is in part to this openness to collaboration and innovation that they've exhibited, and a lot of ideas that have come from other places. Actually, I just realized that I don't have on my list Norway listed. May I request you to please stand up and go next? I'm so sorry. I don't know, that was a miss on our part. Can we bring the microphone to, and you maybe can introduce yourself and then talk. So, you are a neighbor, and is your story the same as Sweden, or are you looking for something? Is there a differentiated product that Norway represents?
Thank you. My name is Kirsten, Consul General of Norway. I was thinking as I was sitting there listening to Cecilia that I could almost copy completely word for word what she was saying, except for one thing, the big companies. We have a few, and we are even less people. We're 5.6 million, so definitely we do not have a big market. But I've also been discussing at my table the issue of trust, the issue of trying to envisage what we want to build, what kind of societies we want to build with AI and what is going on in technology. And that's where I think actually both Norway and the other Nordic countries can contribute. We have a well-functioning welfare society. We are few people. We have good data. For instance, in the health area, health sector, we really have good data on our populations, and we are used to sharing data, again based on trust. And we also have, I think, good collaboration between private actors, between our trade unions, and between actors such as our governments, basically, which is also, I think, in this rather polarized time, an asset. And we're going to make the most of it. But basically, I'm here to learn, and I think a lot of our companies, which are mainly not very big companies, are also here to learn. We have some leading edge in certain sectors, such as energy, such as green maritime, but we are really here to learn. And I'm also very grateful for being part of this tonight.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. We're grateful for you to be here. And what I really liked amongst the comments that you made is that you are discussing at your table. This is exactly the point of it. Creating those synapses, those opportunities for engagement, and together potentially finding ways of solving things that we otherwise could not. Thank you. So I'm gonna move to the next country on my list here. I'm gonna invite Isabella Tomas from Austria. Is Isabella? Oh, there she is. Thank you. Isabella, the same question for you, with just one twist there. Austria is known for, arts and culture and music. Where does science, and I know, of course, it has had a history of scientists that have done remarkable work in the past. Do you see Austria changing in the post-AI world? One comment that we heard from our Norwegian colleague was that, there's a strong social security net. In the post-AI society, when the jobs are going to be taken away, I heard a company just recently had tens of thousands of people laid off, if I heard the number correctly, one of the large tech companies. Is that, where does Austria go from where we are today in the post-AI world?
That is a very big question. Thank you for putting me on the spot.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
But it's,
I know you can do it.
But it's definitely a pertinent question, because much like my Swedish and Norwegian colleagues, I could confirm that Austria also has a very strong social net. Yep. And strong labor market rules. Other than this country here and some others, we have very strong unions too. And yes, the fear of AI taking away jobs is definitely present. So far, I think it is being numbed down a little bit because our, people in general, I would say, we're all a little risk averse, and maybe Austrians more than others. So we're trying to take it slow. We definitely are people that like science and research, and as you said, we have, thankfully, some very prominent representatives. In the last 5 years, we had 2 of the very nice prizes being awarded in Stockholm in physics, and then throughout our history, a couple more. But we see ourselves usually as niche champions. This is true in economics and also in science. Not so much on a big, huge scale. Of course, I would usually here in the US, I would always say we are a very small country. We have more inhabitants than Sweden and Norway, so now I'm kind of losing my line here. but we're still small, and maybe to circle back to the previous questions, there is no way that a country like ours, even though we are a member of the European Union, could do anything alone without international cooperation. That completely goes without saying. And then if you look at our history, if I also want to go 125 years back, we used to be a monarchy and had what today would be 17 different countries as parts of what our little empire was. And I think that has really also done a lot to our mentality and to how we see cooperation with our neighbors, although they don't all speak the same language. This is also a very European thing. We're completely fine with that. We speak other languages and we encourage everyone to learn them, AI or not. But on a more serious level, the AI taking away the jobs, yes, that's a fear. And I think what my government is trying to do, let's see if it succeeds, is to invest a lot in AI education. So to take fear of the way from the people and making them understand that AI is not there to take your job, but actually to empower you to do your job better. So, but that's, of course, remains to be seen how well this will work.
Absolutely. Thank you, Isabella. Well said. You know, what's interesting about Europe is, I did my postdoc in Europe, and I would visit different countries within, I love traveling. So I would see how the communities were so self-sufficient in many ways, even though there were some centralized processes and schemes and like social safety net, but there's a lot of local community building. And for a country like India, where I grew up, I'm starting to see that happen, more empowerment of local communities. And yet, that collaboration
has had a $325 million judgment against it in connection with AI and stress on young people, and there's 2,000 other lawsuits pending. Well, there's a company in the Czech Republic that just visited me called Elin, E-L-I-N. That's the CEO's daughter's name. Elin AI. They have developed an agent, an AI agent, that in real time will work with the young people's phone and track them and neutralize any harm that's being delivered in the social media in real time. And my job, so to speak, is to try to help make that a success. And I hope that any of you here have an interest in this.
I love that.
Join me.
Business development in chief, right there.
Thank
That's
you.
wonderful. That's very well done. Thank you so much. As a father of 3 kids, I totally see the value of a solution like that. Thank you so much. I'm going to invite Dmytro Kushneruk, our Ukrainian Consul General. Ukraine is going through a major conflict that's made life quite difficult for it, but it does have a long history of innovation and training. A lot of Indian students actually study there. How does Ukraine emerge from that conflict, and how does it engage with the rest of the world? And we are really talking about science, technology, and innovation right now. And I know defense is one part of it, but there are other elements of it that Ukraine has always been involved in.
Yeah, thanks for that. Though, you know, I have some points which I wanted just to mention, absolutely in connection with what you mentioned. So for us, using AI is not just something like we want to do, it's kind of what we need to do. It's basically for us, the use of that is not just intentional, it's existential. And Ukraine is a country at war, but also we are innovating every day in these extreme conditions. And on AI, we are witnessing something important. It's not just productivity, it's also a national resilience tool. And yes, of course, defense tech is number one. In a battlefield decision-making, in autonomous machines like drones and ground drones and intelligence analysis, but it's only part of the story. In Ukraine, we use AI in cyber defense, reconstruction and planning, in public, in the government services very much because this was needed, especially in the first days of the war. Of course, also in on global health, I want to mention some of the points. So, healthcare system, we understood, must be shock-proof, shock resistance, and we're dealing with, of course, destroyed hospitals and mass trauma and long-term rehabilitation needs and mental health challenges, and this is where collaboration really matters. And Ukraine is not just a recipient of that, but is becoming really testing ground for scalable, resilient healthcare solutions for all the world, including telemedicine, AI, diagnostics, and rapid deployment models, and there is opportunity to co-develop systems that will work for all the world. And on sustainability, I want to mention the point that we're undertaking currently in Ukraine and will be one of the largest reconstructions processes in the world, probably in the modern history. And we are not just rebuilding the past, we try to build the future in an absolutely new, innovative way. And of course, we do that with the energy systems, which has to be decentralized and not relying on just one central system because it's becoming not proof enough in the war. And of course, the infrastructures that should be smart and efficient, and the cities that must be integrated digital environment and human-centered approach. And Ukraine is offering partnership for everybody for all the countries in the world. And if we connect Silicon Valley innovation, all the other countries' innovation, together with global capital and our real need urgency and talent, we can solve the problems which all the world needs. And last, I want to say that the crisis currently in the world is not just something which happens occasionally. It's probably inevitable and will be happening in the future. And if we cooperate together, at least the democratic countries, so to say, against the dictatorship, then we can succeed in AI, in all technology and innovation together.
You know, I have to commend Dmytro for being an optimist, seeing the glass half full, and leaving with that message for all of us. I'm inspired, actually. Thank you. Thank you so much. We have just the last few Consuls General left for their comments, but I have to tell you, this is one of the best summaries of global context to science, technology, and innovation collaboration in these areas that I've been part of. I'm listening to it and I'm taking lots of mental notes. In biodesign at Stanford, we call it needs finding. So this is a great, we have a recording of it, so we will have it available for all of us, and hopefully this becomes a substrate for the discussion, roundtable discussions tomorrow. I'm going to invite Lakshman Kanal, who is the Consul General of Nepal. Is he here in the audience? Okay, he couldn't make it today. Let's invite Marco Rodriguez from Mexico. Marco. Thank you, Marco.
Thank you. Hello. My name is Marco. I'm the Consul General of Mexico. Thank you very much for the invitation. It is a pleasure to be here and to have the opportunity to learn from all of you. Mexico has a very good relationship with all the world, but in the case of the United States, we have a very special relationship. As you know, this year is the year of the review of the USMCA together with Canada. The dialogue is going on very well. and we're committed to the success of the USMCA. We're confident that we're going to have a very good agreement to foster the region, Mexico, US, and Canada. And the USMCA entails many of the subjects of this conference, especially the approach to AI. And in the case of Mexico, Madam President Sheinbaum has created 2 institutions in relation to this subject. One of them is the Agency of Digital Transformation, which is in charge of the digital agenda of the Mexican government in order to streamline the government work through the new AI capabilities. And also, she elevated to a ministerial level an office to foster innovation, the Ministry for Science, Humanities, Technology, and Innovation. Those are not agencies to regulate, but to foster and promote innovation. Again, thank you very much. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Marco. I really appreciate it. You know, US has had a very strong collaboration with Mexico. Mexico has also been a big part of a global community in the work that it has done, and that future looks very bright. We just lost three Consul General. Michael Smith from Ireland. Do we have him in the audience today? I think he might have not been able to make it. Naoki Endo, who's a consul at Japanese consulate. Naoki? Hi, Naoki. Good to see you. Naoki-san is been a key partner for us at Stanford, with Stanford Japan Biodesign. Thank you so much. Yes, Naoki, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. My name is Naoki from the Consul General of Japan, San Francisco. Thank you for inviting me to this wonderful event. I just quickly mentioned how Japan tried to using the AI to adapt in the society. As you know, Japan is, looks like a very harmonious society. And so we just thinking about how AI in adaptation to the society itself with harmonize with the human beings. And so that now our government try to improve the human ability to educate the graduate student and the workers to change their skills to adapt it to the AI era. And so that we provide more the effort to how to collaborate with the AI itself and the human being itself. Thank you for one.
Well, thank you so much. And it's been a pleasure partnering with Japan on biodesign. Thank you. Last word goes to Theo Peters, but not the last word. Not the least word. Theo, please. And I was sharing with him the story of my postdoc in Netherlands and how I used to wear anorak on a bike from Enschede to Twente campus, which is about 9 miles. And so lovely memory of memories of Netherlands near Krosch Brewery there, which doesn't exist anymore. But back to you.
Thank you very much, Anurag. And I will not forget your name anymore, because you told me you would have to wear an Anurag very often to bike to school there because of the rain in my country. Yep. So thank you very much for inviting me and for having us here. You know, I was afraid that all of you would have to wait with dessert until I had spoken. Well, in the meantime, I think we're already way beyond dessert. And at the same time, I'm very happy you didn't invite the whole United Nations, because then we know we would have been here for a long night. So also thank you very much to the audience for you being so patient and even staying beyond dessert. So thank you very much for that. And you really, I mean, the lady on my left really, complimented your skills as a moderator, Anurag, because you really keep us on our toes. We don't know what question we're getting until we get here, so it feels a little bit like cold calling in grad school again. But anyhow, thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.
The Netherlands, I will repeat what many said before. It's a small country in the northwest of Europe. We at the consulate, we cover the 13 westernmost states of the US, which is about 116 times my country. That gives you an idea. We are, yes, what should I say? Technology is very important to us. You probably all know this small startup company called ASML in the Netherlands that plays quite an important role in the whole semicon industry. But it's not only semicon, we have a national technology strategy where we define the things that we would like to concentrate on, and you see that reflected also in the priorities that we have as a consulate here in San Francisco. So first and foremost for us, the future of compute is number one. And for us, that is semicon, but there's also AI, it is photonics, quantum, and also cyber, and not only security, but also the technology of cyber. Then a second cluster would be life sciences and health, especially biomed and medtech. And the third one would be advanced manufacturing. So those would be the three priorities that you would see reflected in our work that also come out of our national technology strategy. So apart from that, you might know that we are a small country, but nevertheless we are the #2 agricultural exporter in the world. And that for a country of our size, of course, is quite remarkable. And that says also something about the technology that we have in agri-tech. So I think that will be another strong point of ours. But I will stop bragging there, and thank you very much for your hospitality, Anurag, and we look forward to the meetings tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Theo. Really appreciate it.